Show starts off with John Cena coming out and calling out Ric Flair. Flair comes out with Randy. Cena finally starts off by saying, "Why? Why would you do this to me, Rick? You said you wanted it to be me. You wanted me to break your record. And now you're here with Randy Orton helping him out, stabbing me in my damn back. All for what? John, this is your fault. You left me behind. I had plenty to teach you, and you left. You lost faith in me just because you couldn't get the job done. And what do you go out and do? You join Chase, you? And some good you did them. Andre Chase will never compete again, and neither will Duke, all because of your selfishness. You've done nothing but take and take and take, and you'll keep taking until you're dead. But you won't take my record. From me, that'll be Randy." "Rick, you senile old man. If I didn't leave you, Randy would have kicked you in the skull, not Mr. Chase. He's using you to get what he wants, and that's it. You are nothing to him. He's going to kick you to the curb the moment he no longer needs you." Randy takes the mic from Rick. He's about to speak when Gunther's music hits. Gunther comes out with Kaiser and Vinci, grabs a mic, and says, "Randy, you absolute moron. Last week you made a massive mistake. You got involved in my business. And not only that, you add insult to injury. You add insult to injury. After I call you out on it, you beat me down. Randy, you took away my chance to beat John Cena last week. And Cena, you're lucky Randy caused the DQ because that was the only way you could ever get a victory over me." You know, Gunther, it's funny. That's a funny way of saying thank you. See, we all saw it last week. That piece of shit Cena had you down for a 20 count. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be champion right now. Now, I know you're insecure about it, but it's fine. Don't worry. Cena's behind you now. Let's focus on our match at WrestleMania. This brings me out where I have a mic saying, "Wait a minute, guys. We all see where this is going, don't we? Now, I know Cena can't wait to get his hands on Randy again, and if he doesn't get an opportunity soon, he might just end up affecting the Mania match, and no one wants that. So, the main events, no. So here's what I've cooked up tonight: John Cena versus Randy Orton inside of a steel cage. If Randy wins, Cena is banned from ringside and cannot interfere at the Mania match. However, if Cena wins, he will get added to the match at Mania. The crowd starts a yes chant. Randy's freaking out, so is Gunther. Randy's about to speak when I say, "I don't want to hear any complaining. It's official." All right. Yeah, this match, Raquel and Chelsea are targeting each other a bunch. They basically take each other out. In the end, we see it come down to Team Bad and the Bloodline. Oh, this is a number one contenders match, by the way, for the women's tag team championships. uh, Comes down to the Team Bad and the Bloodline. Nia is fighting Mercedes while Naomi is fighting Tamina. Nia gets Mercedes in the corner for her finish. Naomi also gets Tamina in a corner for her finish. They both hit their finishers at the same time and go for covers simultaneously. The ref gets on both hands and start counting for both of them. 1, 2, 3. The winner is the ref calls for the bell, but he doesn't know what to do. We then hear him say both of them, I guess. Alicia Taylor announces that the match is a draw between the Bloodline and Team Bad. All right. Backstage, we see Stone Cold running around looking for KO until he runs into my office. Where the hell is he? Where is that piece of shit Canadian? Look, I know you two have the score to settle, so how about this? Next week, a very special, with heavy security episode of the KO show. You two can talk about your differences there. Fine, but if I see him tonight, he won't make it till next week. Cool. This match, Finn and JD come out, distract Dom. Grayson wins. Uh, Finn and JD start beating down on Priest. When Priest comes in, Priest gets taken down by the numbers game after Dom is too injured to help fight back. All right. We now get a promo package from Mello saying that this hasn't been the best year for him. He got taken out by Indashir at the beginning of the year, and his best friend betrayed him. And now he can't get any title shot because of his former friend keeps costing him matches. And it has to end next week. Me and you, Trick, one last time. After that, we see Grayson walking backstage when Kathy Kelly goes up to him and asks, Grayson, we just have one question. What was that? Are you in the Undisputed Era now? What? No. What that was just a taste of what's to come. I've been held back for too long now. Grayson Waller is hungry for a championship, and whoever drafts me is going to see firsthand just how capable of a superstar I truly am. All right, Solo versus Dean Ambrose. Solo dominates Dean. Takes about 7 minutes to pin him. After the match, Solo continues to beat down until Jay and Roman come in for the save. That is it. Solo wins Law.
You hate to hear it.
Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. It's about to change. We now get a video package of Trick coming in and saying, "Oh wow, it looks like Mello finally grew a pair. You're damn right I'm taking this match next week. You cost me that IC championship. You're gonna pay for everything." Okay. Hold on. Okay. All right. We then get Rhea coming to the ring. She calls out Rocks, and then she comes out. Ooh, look what we have here. Wasn't sure you'd show up given how scared of me you are. Wow, you really are delusional. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of anybody. Or really, is that why you refused to tag in last week? I was waiting to get my hands on you, Rocks. You took the coward's route every chance you got. And I had to chase you all the way up the stands. I'll give you credit though. You're fast. Come WrestleMania, you're gonna have to be more than just fast. I'm gonna tear you apart, limb by limb. I'm going to enjoy every moment of it, licking every last drop of blood that comes out of you. Trust me, if you thought your fight against me at SummerSlam was hard, you have no idea what a pissed off Rhea Bloody Ripley is capable of. Roxanne slowly backs away from Rhea and says, I'm not scared of you. I can beat you. You're scared of me. I had you beat at SummerSlam. You know it. That pesky bitch Charlotte just got in the way. Oh my god, again with Charlotte. Tell me this. What's gonna be your excuse when I pin you at Mania? What's the excuse then? It was too cold outside? Charlotte isn't gonna be there to give you an excuse this time. The only one I'll accept is that you were too scared to pull the trigger. Roxanne brings the mic up to her face, just drops it and storms out of the ring. Okay, backstage, we see Dean icing up when Roman and Jay come up to him. Hey, what's been going on with you lately, Oos? Yeah, what Jay said. Look, we're not dumb. We've seen you since you've been back. You haven't been yourself. You've been like a cheap Chinese knockoff of yourself. Are you good? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't really know who I am either. I'm just kind of here. Roman takes a deep sigh and says, I see. Well, let me put it this way. Right now, you're Dean Ambrose. I don't want Dean Ambrose on my side. I want John Moxley on my side. The same son of a bitch who made a name for himself in CZW. The same Moxley that ate an explosive super kick or whatever that was. The same John Moxley who fell back first on a bed of nails. I need that guy. Or else we don't have a chance. All right, good talk. Roman walks away as we end as we end on a shot of John's face as he starts to remember who he truly is. Main event time. Damn, I ain't right shit for this. Randy is seen walking to the ring with Flair. He says, this is bullshit. I just had a brutal steel cage match with Priest not that long ago. Now I gotta go in and do it again? And this GM hates me. Alright, match starts. We get a classic Cena Orton match. And then the end. The end sees Randy and Cena fighting on the top of a cage, both trying to climb their way down. Flair gets involved, starts attacking Cena. Cena tries to stop him, but the numbers game is too much. That is, until Thea Hale comes out and pulls Flair off the cage. Flair's about to go to punch her until he realizes it's a woman. Cena gets so worried as Flair is about to go in for a punch that he sacrifices himself. He jumps off of the cage onto Flair. Both his feet touch the floor. John Cena wins. Randy starts flipping out the top of the cage. Thea finally gets John up and they start to celebrate. WrestleMania will be a triple threat. John Cena versus Randy Orton versus Gunther. Two of these men could become the first ever 17-time champions.
Cena jumped off the top of the cell all the
Yep.
way to the floor.
On top of tiny ass Ric Flair had a heart attack on the spot. Before Cena even touched him, his heart gave up.
As Cena's falling, he's just it's such panic of having to catch somebody again. It's
Yep.
like, ah, shit, haven't done this in 50 years. To open the show, Drew McIntyre slowly makes his way down to the ring. He grabs a chair and sits in the middle of the ring and says, Paul, you screwed me yet again. You know I've been wanting Brock Lesnar, so you have someone play his music and cost me another chance at the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm going to give you the next couple of minutes to either get me Brock Lesnar or start getting your affairs in order. Because someone is losing their head tonight, I just need to know who. A minute passes before Paul Heyman sheepishly makes his way out. Paul informs Drew that Brock Lesnar has not arrived yet tonight. Drew says, what you're telling me is He is going to be here. Paul says that is the plan, but please, Drew, I am not in control of where and when Brock Lesnar shows up. He is his own man, so please show mercy, and when Brock arrives, I will immediately inform you. Drew chuckles and says, "This is a ploy for you to spare your own life. I wanted Brock a couple of weeks ago, and he didn't show. I wanted him last week, and miraculously his music played during my match. So, Paul, trusting your word is about as foolish as those idiots back in ECW believing you had their back." Paul. Paul Heyman says, "Just give me an hour. I'll have him here by the end of the first hour." Drew sighs and says, "Paul, if Brock is not here at the end of the first hour, I am going to drag your ass back into this ring and beat you to a bloody pulp." Show custom commercial. Come back. We're in the ring for Kabuki Warriors versus The Way. Kabuki Warriors win. Sami Zayn and Bronson Reed are walking around backstage when Paul Heyman sees them and confronts them. Heyman says he is requesting their assistance. Brock Lesnar is not here yet, and he doesn't know if he's going to be here tonight, so he needs Bronson Reed to help run security. Sami says, "After what all you put me through, you expect me to help you. Paul, you're delusional." Paul says, "So after giving you a chance a top be a top player in WWE, this is how you repay me? Fine, don't help. I was going to give you another week off, but the match last week was for the number one contender for that title. So if Bronson isn't going to be my security, then you have a match for that World Heavyweight Championship, and that match is next." We then cut over. Becky Lynch and Bayley are speaking about Charlotte and Cora. Becky says, "You know, I've been watching Cora from afar and seen all the problems she was causing Paige, and I didn't think much of it. But when that brat cost me my women's championship, I truly understood where Paige was coming from. So tonight I get the chance to beat Cora. Then my next step is getting back my women's championship." Bayley says she has the same kind of feelings with Charlotte. Charlotte acts like she is the end all be all in women's wrestling, like there is no one on her level. Well, uh, she put in all this work just to lose at the finish line. At WrestleMania, Bayley says she will win the women's championship. Becky says, "Well, after I'm done with Cora, I do want my title back, so at WrestleMania, it may be a triple threat. So let alone what you have to deal with Charlotte, but you'll have to deal with me." Bayley says she's never backed down from a challenge in her entire life, and if it becomes a triple threat, she is alright with that. We then cut to the ring, where we have Sami Zayn versus Bronson Reed for the World Heavyweight title. Towards the end of the match, we see Sami get Bronson in position to hit a Helluva Kick. As Sami starts to charge across the ring, Brock Lesnar's music plays. Sami stops and looks up at the ramp, awaiting to see Brock Lesnar. When he turns around, Drew McIntyre claymores Sami. Bronson then goes in to attack Drew, but Drew ducks and hits at the ropes before claymoring Bronson. Both Bronson and Sami roll out of the ring and make their way to the back. The match ends in DQ. Sami retains. Drew McIntyre then grabs a mic and calls out Brock Lesnar. Drew says, "The hour is up, Brock. Either you come out here right now or Paul gets the beating he probably has deserved for years." Drew waits and still nothing. Drew McIntyre then exits the ring and makes his way to Paul Heyman's office. Cameras follow Drew the entire way, and once he gets to Heyman's office, he tries to open the door, but the door is locked. Drew McIntyre Heyman refuses. Drew then kicks open Paul's door and sees Paul cowering behind his desk. Drew says, "I told you by the end of the hour is either you or," as he is about to finish, Brock Lesnar blindsides him as he walks through the doorway. Brock and Drew then begin to brawl all over the backstage area and eventually get pulled apart by basically any security and extra staff laying around backstage. Drew tells Brock he's a dead man. Heyman then brings in some police officers and has them take Drew away. Paul then tells Drew we then cut to a different part of the backstage. Karrion Kross and the Final Testament
Me,
are.
you kind of cut out there. All I heard
I cut
was,
out.
fuck. Paul tells Drew, and
Oh,
then yeah.
uh, Paul tells Brock
Uh,
that he'll meet him at the hotel later tonight. I fumbled my words. We then cut to a different part of the backstage. Karrion and Cross and the Final Testament are speaking about Cody and Ricochet earning themselves a title shot against the Authors of Pain. Cross says he looks forward to their rematch, not because it's going to be an epic match, no. I'm looking forward to the Authors of Pain destroying Cody and Ricochet. They are a tag team made from mismatched toys. They don't truly understand what it means to be a tag team, to work as a unit. They were just two men abandoned by everyone else and chose to choose each other. They're weak alone, and together they make a barely passable tag team. Cody and Ricochet then step into frame. Cody says, "Alone, alone we are weak." Well, Mr. Cross, remind me who out of us is a former world heavyweight champion. You call us weak, but you chose to hide behind your two henchmen. If anyone here is weak, it's you. Cross laughs and says, "You don't even realize what you did there. Instead of glorifying the team and making you both look great, you chose to shine a light on your accomplishments." I mean, let's be real here, Cody. The only reason you chose to team with Ricochet was so that you didn't watch your career fall back into the shadows. In an act of keeping yourself relevant, you have ostracized one of the few men who will finally put up with you and your nonsense. Cody, let's get completely honest here. You may have been a world champion, but I'm the one running the show. And Cross and the Final Testament walk off. And then cut to the ring for Braun and Ilya versus Bobby and Andrade. Towards the end of the match, we see Braun stun Lashley in the ring. Braun goes to hit the ropes and Ilya blindly tacks himself in. Braun connects with a spear and goes for the pin, but Ilya pulls Braun off and goes for the pin himself. As the referee starts to count, Braun then pulls Ilya off of Bobby. Ilya and Braun argue before they start fighting. In the midst of their fighting, Bobby tags in Andrade. Braun thinks he has the upper hand, but Ilya nails a headbutt that drops Braun out of the ring. Ilya turns to get Bobby, but Andrade charges across the ring and hits him with a spinning back elbow. Andrade then picks up Ilya and hits him with his hammerlock DDT and pins Ilya 1, 2, 3. Bobby and Andrade win. We cut backstage to where Charlotte is being interviewed about the upcoming match between Cora Jade and Becky Lynch. Charlotte says this is perfect. Becky gets to see that she is not as good as she thinks she is, and we get to see a new star begin to break out in the women's division. Kathy asks if Charlotte views Cora as any kind of threat as Miss Money in the Bank. Charlotte says she knows Cora's a smart girl and wouldn't dare to try anything against her. But if/when she cashes in her briefcase, she better bring her best because it's not easy taking down a queen. Um, then we see Seth Rollins walk into Paul Heyman's office as he is cleaning up his paperwork from the show tonight. Rollins says, "We're going to talk about what happened last week with you preventing me from getting my rightful revenge." Paul looks confused and says, "Your revenge? Seth, you tried to end that man's career last week. I couldn't just stand idly by. I heard you were in the arena, and I told security to keep a keen eye on you." Rollins says, "So you're telling me it's okay if he tries to end my career, but when it's your friend whose career is in jeopardy, then you start to care, huh? How many phone calls did I get from you after your friend nailed me in the head with a chair? How many messages did you send? I'll tell you. Zero. Paul, you're a shitty boss, and next week I want Punk in that ring. I want him to sign a contract to face me at WrestleMania. I don't care what the stipulation you put on it. I want him there. You already have Drew and Sammy pissed at you. If you don't give me what I want, what I deserve, then add me to that list of men who want you gone." We then go down to the ring for Cora Jade versus Becky Lynch. Throughout this match, Becky is having a harder time putting away Cora than she thought she would. Cora is putting up quite a fight and has several moments where it seems like she is close to putting Becky away. Towards the end of the match, we see Cora and Becky jockeying for position when they bump into the ref and knock them out of the ring. Cora gets the advantage and knocks Becky down. Cora then realizes the ref is knocked out and goes outside to grab her briefcase and brings it back into the ring. Cora beats down on Becky with the briefcase before picking her up and hitting Jaded on it. Cora goes for the cover, but the referee is still knocked out. Cora lets go of the pin and goes outside to get the referee. She rolls the referee back into the ring and heads over to Becky. Becky quickly gets up to her feet and nails Cora with a manhandle slam on top of the briefcase. Becky then slides the briefcase out of the ring before covering Cora, and the referee slowly makes the 3 count. Becky Lynch wins.
Becky Hogan.